the heart of the matter. Brian Miller had been sitting at the kitchen table for over an hour, his eyes fixed firmly on the same page of a book. The silence in the room was heavy, broken only by the occasional turning of a page that he definitely was not reading. Lauren leaned over, her voice laced with a mix of curiosity and mock concern. She asked Brian what the matter was, noting that he had been staring at that book for over an hour. Brian, defensive and moody, snapped back that he did not want to talk about it. Tina, never one to miss a chance to tease her brother, chimed in immediately. She announced to the room that he had a crush on a girl at school. Brian hissed at her to shut up, but Tina was already on a roll. She revealed the girl was named Carrie Tyler and added the stinging detail that Carrie did not even know Brian was alive. Frustrated, Brian looked at Tina and declared that this was the last time he would ever open up to her about anything. Tina simply replied with a blunt and satisfied word. Good. Judy, trying to play the comforting mother, cooed at him, calling him Bree. She acknowledged that he was hurting then, but Brian interrupted her. He sighed, saying he knew that no matter what that girl thought, he would always be her handsome prince. Judy's face twisted into a look of genuine discomfort. She told him that was creepy and reminded him that she was his mother. She had actually been about to tell him to buck up. Judy then pivoted to practical advice. She suggested that if he wanted to catch a girl's eye, he might consider investing in some hair gel. Brian looked up, a glimmer of hope appearing. He asked if she really thought hair gel would get Carrie's attention. Judy shrugged, saying it could not hurt unless he wanted to stay with his current look, which she compared to Ronald Reagan. Lauren jumped in, surprisingly supportive. She told Brian he actually had a lot of potential and that with a little bit of work he could actually be a pretty good-looking guy. She paused, surprised at her own kindness, noting that she kept her lunch down while saying it. Brian, genuinely touched, thanked her. Lauren offered to show him a whole different look. Brian was amazed, asking if she would really do that for him. Lauren agreed, though she admitted it would be a challenge, comparing it to climbing that dumb mountain he was always talking about. Brian corrected her, saying it was Everest. Lauren shrugged, saying this was real, unlike the mountain. When Brian insisted Mount Everest was real, Lauren just nodded dismissively, saying so was Middle Earth. Despite the sarcasm, Brian was excited. He thanked Lauren and saw his father, Bill, entering. He told his dad to say goodbye to the Brian Miller he had always known. Bill simply said bye without looking up. Brian stopped him, asking if he was going to ask why. Bill guessed it was because Brian was nerdy and girls did not like him. Brian tried to say no, but then quickly admitted it was true. The dream and the tow truck. Bill shifted his focus to Judy, claiming he had great news. Judy asked if he finally got the car fixed. Bill admitted he had not, and that it would not be ready for another week, but he announced they were now the proud owners of a new acquisition. Judy looked out the window and asked if he meant a tow truck and a Mexican guy. Bill ignored the jab, pointing instead to the sweet ride being towed. Judy asked what he had done. Bill proudly announced he had gotten them the muscle car. He explained he had always wanted to fix up one of those, and now he was going to. Judy was skeptical. She challenged him to name one thing he had wanted to fix and actually finished. Bill countered by asking her to name one thing he said he was going to fix and didn't. Judy rattled off a list: a lamp, a drill, and the table they were standing near. She offered to turn around and continue the list. Bill dismissed those as chores, claiming the car was his dream. Judy joked that he must drive that car in his dreams, which would explain all the backfiring she heard every night. Their conversation was interrupted by Perry, who leaned in and greeted Linda as the sister of his lover. Perry told Linda he would see her later and to have fun working on her video. Judy asked if Linda's Foghat cover band was making a video. Linda explained that Perry had decided to make a video for one of his original songs. Perry was ecstatic. He described the vision. It would start with him on the Great Wall of China. He would be singing into a mirror, and then his mirror image would step out and start singing backup vocals. Then the mirror would shatter, and tiny versions of him would come flying out. The message, he claimed, was that all peoples of the world could coexist in peace. He asked if it gave them chills. Judy replied that it made her shudder. After Perry left, Judy noted that a music video sounded expensive. Linda admitted it was, but explained Perry's logic. Having some of their money on the line would force him to write a really great song. Judy was horrified to learn he had not even written the song yet. Linda defended his process, saying he did his best work with his back against the wall. Judy asked if that would be a padded wall. Judy warned Linda about throwing away money when they were trying to save for a wedding. Linda began to doubt the plan, and Judy encouraged her to set Perry straight, claiming guys were not that bright. Bill, meanwhile, was struggling with a tool, and Judy told him he stripped the socket, reminding him it was righty-tighty. Bill used the moment to remind Judy that his car was in the shop and asked if Linda could give him a ride to work. Linda joked about whether he had to ride inside, or if she could strap him to the hood like a dead deer. Bill retorted that not even a dead deer would want to ride with her. Judy threatened that if they did not want a carpool, they could go back to the laundromat and walk to work. Advice and instincts. Later, Bill and Linda were in the car. Bill complained about Judy thinking she was the boss of everyone. Linda agreed she was a pain but mentioned that Judy had given her some good advice about Perry's video. When she told Bill that Judy suggested she tell Perry no, Bill stopped her. He told Linda that Judy was a dream squasher and claimed the bottoms of her shoes were covered in his dreams. He argued that guys need encouragement and used a confused history metaphor about Mrs. Columbus not telling Christopher to stay home because they had enough spices. He warned Linda that if she said no, Perry might hold it against her forever. Linda was convinced and decided to tell Perry to go for it. Back at home, Judy asked Bill where he was, and he explained he had been dropped off. Linda came in, and Judy assumed Linda had followed her advice to stop the video. Linda corrected her, saying she decided to support Perry 100%. Judy was stunned and asked what kind of idiot would tell her to do that. Bill walked in, wearing a scarf he claimed to have traded with a neighbor's snowman. He defended his advice, noting that as soon as Linda supported Perry, he stayed up all night and wrote a song. He even claimed Perry had a manager interested in him. Bill gloated, telling Judy she wasn't always right. Judy realized Bill was only giving Linda bad advice because he was sore about the car. Linda defended Bill, calling him insightful about the male psyche. Bill echoed the word, saying he was fully in sight. Bill then told Judy she had 38 years to fix Linda's life and called Linda a mess. Linda, surprisingly, took no offense. Bill claimed he could fix an old rusted-out shell of a thing, whether it was a muscle car or a sister. Linda finally took offense at being called a disaster. Judy told them both to go ahead and listen to Bill's advice, predicting it would work out great sarcastically. The transformation and the song. In another part of the house, Lauren was working on Brian's makeover. She told him she had cleaned up his sideburns and told him to have a look. Brian asked if his eyebrows looked uneven. Lauren said a girl would have to be really close to notice, and Brian said that was the goal. Lauren told him to hold still for a delicate part of the process. Brian felt a sneeze coming on, but managed to hold it back. However, just as he relaxed, Lauren sneezed. Brian asked if everything was all right. Lauren nervously said yes and told him he was good to go, calling him Johnny Depp. Brian went to the mirror and screamed. He asked what her problem was, but Lauren dodged the question, claiming he was still upset about the election. Meanwhile, Linda rushed into the room looking for Judy. She told Bill that her life was falling apart because of him. She revealed that Perry wanted to postpone the wedding and risk their entire savings on his rock star dream. Bill tried to stay calm, claiming he was a problem solver. He tried to think, asking for coffee, then cream, then more cream, before finally admitting he had nothing. Bill saw Judy coming home and tried to stop Linda from talking to her. He reminded Linda that they had talked big the day before and Judy would make her eat her words. Judy walked in and asked if everything was falling apart yet. She called Bill's attempt to fix a life the equivalent of pouring stupid gas on a crazy fire. Bill tried to buy time, claiming he just needed one day to find a solution. Just then, Brian walked in with a bandage over his face. He told Bill that Lauren had shaved off half of his eyebrow. Bill told Brian he was screwed. Lauren tried to offer a solution, but Brian refused to have an eyebrow glued or painted on. He also refused a bandana or an eye patch. Lauren offered him their grandmother's cataract glasses. Brian tried them on and Bill lied, saying they didn't look that bad. The confrontation. Bill eventually found Judy in the bathtub. He tried to act casual, but Judy knew something was up. Bill told a story about a lady he worked with who was engaged to a sculptor-painter who wanted to postpone his wedding for his art. He asked Judy what he should tell her. Judy saw right through it. She asked how stupid she was supposed to be in this story. She realized Perry was postponing the wedding, and that Bill was in over his head. Bill admitted he was between great ideas and needed a bridge. Judy offered to help if Bill admitted she was right, that she ruled and he drooled, and that he was a big fat zero. Bill hesitated, hoping Perry's song might actually be great. He compared Perry to Mozart, claiming people said Mozart was no good when he was 2 years old. Bill decided to stick with his instinct. They all gathered to hear Perry's new song. Perry began to sing about driving, hot moms, lazy dads, and wanting to have a ball all night with Perry every day. Linda stopped him, pointing out that it sounded exactly like the Kiss song Rock and Roll All Night. Bill sang the original lyrics to compare. Perry realized the similarity and was frustrated. Judy asked about the manager. Perry admitted the manager was actually his apartment manager who was just trying to rent out vacancies. The agent he mentioned was a travel agent. Linda asked Perry to rethink the video. Bill suggested that since there was no song, there could be no video. Perry insisted that Linda believed in him, but Bill accidentally let slip that Linda thought it was a pipe dream. Perry was hurt, and Linda was angry at Bill for telling him. Judy stepped in. She asked Perry if he really needed to do the video right then. She suggested he take it slow, play small clubs, and wait for inspiration. Perry agreed, noting the Great Wall of China wasn't going anywhere. Judy then told Linda she needed to speak her mind, and that marriage was about give and take. Bill tried to argue again about not squashing dreams, bringing up a story about a treehouse casino. Judy shut him down, telling him to stay out of the advice business. The aftermath. In the end, Brian returned to the room. He told Bill that he had fixed the mess Lauren made by putting a Band-Aid over his missing eyebrow and telling everyone he got in a fight. He said people actually thought he was tough. Brian decided he could finally take the bandage off, wondering if the hair had started to grow back yet. He slowly peeled it back, but Bill told him he had to just rip it off. Brian did so and screamed in pain. He asked if it was all gone, and Bill confirmed that yes, it was all gone.